Hello, this is the SDEV148 Intro to Game Development Getting Started video. My name is Nick LaPlante, and I am the course developer and mentor for the course. You can contact me at nlaplante@ivytech.edu. My name and contact information is listed in the instructor guide as well. And this is a brand new course for Ivy Tech in the software development program. And with this shell, the course is officially being offered now in spring of 2022. So, brand new course. This is all brand new content. And we will start in the syllabus. So the required textbook is Game Development Essentials 4th edition. The 3rd edition was published under Cengage, but the author, Novak, founded her own publishing company, which is Novi Unlimited. So the 4th edition is the newest one, is from Novi Unlimited. It'll be offered as a ebook, and from what I understand, there will also be some kind of print options available too. Students or instructors want those. And the only required software for this class, it is a game development course, so we need a game engine, and this shell will be using Unity, the Unity game engine. It's quite mature. It's been around many years. It has a robust free personal license and a very powerful free student educator education license. Now, some of the kind of the first Unity assignment has some more specific steps for going in and making your accounts and things like that. But yes, this course will be using the Unity game engine. And in game development, there's lots of software used, but this is an intro course, so we're focusing mostly on in-game engine works. We're not really worried about creating art assets or audio assets or anything like that. Students will be implementing those things, but they're not making them themselves, so all we need is the game engine. There's several different assignment types in this class, or in this shell rather. Discussion boards. So there's going to be 8 discussion boards, one for every module, and they work the same way as discussion boards normally work. Every week, students will be given a prompt of some kind. It could be in the form of video, written text, and then they respond to that. And they then respond to 2 of their classmates' posts. There's also 7 quizzes based off of the book chapter readings. They're single attempt, kind of untimed, multiple choice, true, false, short answer kinds of questions. Every quiz will have maybe slightly different question variety or types, but that'll be listed in that individual quiz description. There's also a small number of writing assignments. The first one, for example, is about kind of the history of game development, and students are required to make some sort of timeline for that. Another one is kind of a short paper based on the World of Warcraft Blood Plague glitch or bug. And then the last one is kind of a larger ongoing writing assignment in the form of their final project game design document. For all software development, including game development, documentation is important, of course, and students will be required to kind of keep and maintain a design document kind of throughout the class and be expected to update that from time to time. And the weekly assignments that require the game design or design document update do say so. They do outline that. And I have provided a template design document to help students get started. And then kind of the largest chunk of the class is going to be in the game engine assignments. So there's going to be 6 assignments where students are expected to go into Unity, go into the game engine, and complete certain tasks. And these assignments kind of feed into the final project, because in these 6 assignments, students are learning all the things they'll have to do to complete all of the different parts of the final project. And this will change every week. So, one week maybe we're learning about Bolt, which is the kind of drag and drop, coding tool that this class uses in Unity. Maybe one week they're learning about game physics. Maybe one week they're learning about implementing art or audio, not creating it from scratch themselves, but implementing it. So there's 6 of those assignments. And then there is a final project. And the goal of the final project is to create a 2D game with a solid 30 to 60 seconds of playtime. And when the final project is introduced in Module 3, students are given the full layout of what their final project is expected to do, because there are certain requirements. Kind of the individual content and kind of game theme, it's up to students. They can be creative and come up with that on their own, but there are some kind of outlines. As far as grading goes, the discussions, there's 8 of those, 25 points each, out to 200. The quizzes, 7 of those, 25 points each, 175. The writing assignments, 2 of them are 50, 1 of them is 75. And then the game engine assignments, there's 6 of those, 50 points. So the biggest chunk of points in this course is from the game engine, those 6 game engine assignments. So those are important for students to do. Then, general grading scale. And here in the course summary, you can kind of see how everything is broken out. So every module will have a discussion board, that chapter quiz, then the game engine assignment. And the game engine assignments are kind of the biggest assignments, and those are expected to take the most time. Then those few writing assignments are kind of sprinkled in kind of in the first half of the class. So let me find one here. So yeah, in Module 3, for example, we have our game design document assignment. And then here in Module 1 is our historical timeline writing assignment. So again, those are a bit front-loaded. And I think that brings us to the instructor guide. So here in the kind of announcement template area, for Module 1, so in the discussion board for Module 1, there's a link to the Internet Arcade, which is a public-facing kind of branch of archive.org. Again, they're a kind of nonprofit organization that as the name implies, tries to archive, media, for online. So in games is part, games, movies, books, things of that nature. In the Internet Arcade is their kind of front-facing page for the arcade archives, and you can play hundreds and hundreds of classic arcade games in the web browser. And part of in the first discussion board, students are asked to go, and talk about a few classic arcade games they like. And if they don't have any experience with those, well, they can go get some experience for free here online through the Internet Arcade. Now, in this announcement, suggests highlighting this resource to students and making sure they're aware of it, because this is a very good opportunity to start getting ideas for their final project, even here in Module 1, because these older arcade games will be a good representation of the scope we're looking for. A lot of classic arcade games, because you were playing for quarters in those days, a single round might, the controls were relatively simple controls and graphics, because in audio, because of the technology limitations of the time. And then gameplay wise, individual rounds might only last 30 or 60 seconds. So again, these arcade games are a very good example of the scope of what students should be thinking about for their final project. So highlight that resource for them. And then in Module 2, we get the first assignment where students are using the Unity game engine. And a big part of it is students setting up their accounts. And if students do not get their accounts set up and don't do this assignment, they won't be able to do any of the other Unity engine assignments. And as we've already shown in the kind of the grade breakdown on the syllabus, these are very important assignments. They're worth a lot of points themselves, and then they, again, directly correlate to the tasks students have to do for the final project. So again, make sure students understand the importance of making their Unity account, and that they reach out and get help if they need it. In Module 3, any student who doesn't turn in that Module 2 assignment, well, Module 3 is a good time to connect with them and get them any help or assistance if they need it, because it's very important they have those Unity accounts. Also in Module 3, their design documents get turned in, and students are going to start thinking about their final project more, and they start actually getting into the Unity game engine and learning about how to use that Bolt, that visual scripting tool, to start adding functionality to a game that way. So also, stress to students, the design document is important. It feeds into their final project, and a little bit of pre-planning and good work on the design document will save them time and effort later. Module 4. There's no midterm or special exam or assignment in this course, so nothing to worry about there in Module 4. And then, take this time to also connect with any students who did not turn in their design document. And even students who did turn it in, when grading, give that assignment a little bit of special attention, perhaps, just because, if students, oh, well, I'm going to add 30 levels and like fully animated cutscenes, and that's way out of scope. We need to help students be successful. We need to make sure they're trying to do a reasonable amount of work. In Module 5, we get into the extra features of Unity. So so students aren't learning anything brand new in the Unity game engine in Module 5. It's kind of a chance to catch their breath and get more practice and reinforce kind of the Unity skills they've already learned. So the Module 5 assignment directly picks up and continues the Module 4 Unity assignment. So if students kind of struggled or didn't turn in the Module 4 Unity assignment, they'll have trouble with Module 5. In Module 7, students will be expected to implement art and audio. Right? This is not a visual communication class, so we're not really going to make them create their own, but they will be implementing. And to that end, the assignment provides resources for finding free art assets or free audio assets. That will have kind of an open use license, and make sure and try to communicate to students that they can also use these resources for their final project. Then here at the bottom, again, it's my my contact information. Feel free to contact me if you have any kind of questions or issues, or maybe you notice a typo or something somewhere. Please let me know that too, so we can get that fixed. Then we'll look at a sample assignment here. So I'll use Module 3 because I think Module 3 is a good representation. So in Module 3, let me close out a few tabs here. We do have the overview page, so we tell students, hey, you're gonna be learning about so there's kind of there's the design thinking kind of academic kind of book work, and then there's some more practical and engine work. In most modules kind of have that split. In Module 3, they're going to be learning about game genres and the goals of games. Some games want to be educational. Lots of games just want to be entertaining. So different things like that, and then different game genres, as well as where on the practical side of actually implementing or creating a game is in Unity. They're going to be learning about, again, that visual scripting tool called Bolt. So Unity by default uses C# scripts, but using this Bolt tool, students can kind of drag and drop, similar to Raptor and SDEV148, to get game functionality. So in the learning activities, there's several reading resources here, kind of relating to game genres and different different goals of games. Fold is a great example of a game with a different goal other than just pure entertainment. Then there's also a bunch of videos here about different goals like education in gaming, and then different genres. And I do want to highlight, so a lot of the videos do come from the same resources. So Game Maker's Toolkit, Extra Credits, Crash Course, these are all excellent resources online, and that produce very high quality content about kind of game development. So very, very good resources there. Then in the supplemental learning materials in every module, or almost every module, it's going to be videos and guides more specific to the Unity kind of coding and engine assignments. Kind of, so if students need some extra kind of guides or tutorials or help, or maybe they're looking for extra tips and tricks, there's always videos here for every Unity module in the supplemental learning. Then there is a quiz based on the book reading. And of course, we want students to do the reading before they try and take the assignment or take the quiz. 13 questions, true, false, multiple choice, fill in the blank, and they get 1 attempt. The discussion board, this one's about goals. In Module 3, it's about goals beyond just pure entertainment. And this is important, I think, because here in Indiana, we don't have a huge game development kind of sector, right? That's more of an East West Coast Texas kind of thing. However, we do have plenty of companies and industry partners starting to leverage game technology like VR or AR, virtual reality and alternate reality, for making their own products or training employees and things like that. So specifically, we highlight 2 examples here in this discussion for kind of employers using VR training, and then kind of games being used for advertisement. Then the Unity visual scripting assignment. So the Unity assignment for Module 3 is about visual scripting. Because again, students are going to have some way of kind of adding functionality to their Unity projects, and Bolt is going to be the tool we're using for that. Again, we mentioned the Module 3 supplemental learning materials, so if students want some extra help. And all these Unity assignments leverage official kind of guides and tutorials and material from Unity themselves. They have a very good Unity Learn platform with tons and tons of great resources there. And this assignment will use the Introduction to Visual Scripting. And when we ask students to complete the 5 main sections of the training, and they can skip the extra challenge at the end. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this challenge at the end, the coding challenge, they can go ahead and skip if they want to. If they want an extra challenge, they are welcome to try it, of course. It is free. Then we ask students, and when students turn it in, we ask them to turn in, the entire Unity folder, right? Because there's a whole bunch of little meta files and things in a game project. So they have to go into, if they saved their game in My Documents, so they have to go into My Documents and turn in the entire project folder. Now, in future iterations of this course, we are looking at cloud submissions and things like that. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get that added to the shell for spring 21. So, but it is something we are looking at. Then the last assignment in Module 3 is the game design document assignment, where we ask students, we introduce the project, we remind students about that Internet Arcade resource to help give them ideas. We give them the actual game design template itself, and every section of the template is labeled for what module it should be completed in. So then the idea is, as students go through the course, kind of learn about new things, and maybe change their ideas for their project a little bit. We go in and kind of touch base and update that from time to time. And then there is a detailed doc here as well. It's loading a little bit slowly. Here we go. And this is a larger document that breaks down kind of what every section is about and why it's important or relevant. And again, then we highlight to students, you'll be adding to your design document in the future, right? So this is a piece of material we're going to be building on over time. Oh, and sorry about that. There's a little bit of designer text here. That should not be there. Then lastly, we will kind of look at the final project here. So for the final project, students are required to create a game that has a beginning, end, relatively bug-free, and has 30 seconds of gameplay. Now, based on how maybe the game is difficult and without practice, it's hard to make it in 30 seconds. So the idea is that taking kind of skill and practice and things into account, the game could last for a round of play could last for 30 or 60 seconds. And it's open-ended. It's kind of up to students to decide how they what kind of game they themselves want to make. It's their project. Now, I will say, because many of the tutorial assignments are based around 2D platformers, students are encouraged to also do a platformer to keep the scope down a little bit. But if a student wanted to do a racing game or something, they can work with you and keep it in scope and make that determination on a case-by-case basis. And students are also encouraged to use those Creative Commons kind of open license, kind of free art and audio assets for their game to help keep that scope down. So they need a working menu that allows them to start a new game or to quit a game, and that is part of Module 6, I believe, is UI. Implementing a basic physics system with 3 kinds of interactions, like they add some colliders so the players can bump into walls or enemies, or maybe they add a they make certain surfaces kind of slippery or bouncy, and that's covered in Module 4 or 5. And students do learn about core gameplay loops, and they need to have some kind of core gameplay implemented using bolt visual scripts, whether that's kind of jumping around, avoiding enemies, and collecting coins. Whatever their core gameplay loop is, it needs to be implemented using bolt scripts. Including a small like 2 or 3 kind of art and audio assets. Just so the whole thing isn't gray boxes. There's the audio one. I mean, in game we want some kind of UI element. So maybe it's a health bar or a timer or a score counter or something like that. The design document should be updated and reflect the status of the game or the project as it is. And then again, we want only 1 level is required, and just 1 level with a solid kind of 30 seconds. And so the actual game itself is 100 points. The design document is 50 points. So 150 points in total. And then kind of here's the rubric breakdown for each one of those kind of requirements. And well, I'm at 30 minutes, so I think this was only supposed to be 20 minutes. So my apologies if this video was a little bit longer than getting started videos normally are. I'll go ahead and cut it off there. Thank you very much for watching, for teaching this course, and I hope you and your students have fun in this class. If you do run into any issues or questions or comments or anything like that, you are more than welcome to contact me. My name is Nick LaPlante again, and my email is nlaplante@ivytech.edu. So thank you very much.